The courtroom on Helion Station echoed with a cold, metallic hum like the station itself was holding its breath. The galleries were packed, crowded with dozens of species, their eyes glowing, blinking, or spiraling in patterns that signaled curiosity. Everyone had come to witness the disgrace of a villain, noble Diplomat, wrapped in shimmering teal scales and silver ceremonial bands, stood alone at the defendant's platform alone because her lawyer had just walked out, literally walked out. The moment the prosecution unveiled a stack of forged documents, the sleek Krellian attorney had panicked, hissed something about professional boundaries, and slithered right out of the room. The crowd murmured with disgust, some with delight. Salvara trembled. "I do not understand. I did not falsify anything. Her voice caught. I cannot speak the legal language. I relied on him." At the judge's bench, a six-armed Urachi justice drummed her fingers. "The defendant has no counsel. Under station law, the trial must proceed." Gasps echoed. "That's not legal." Someone shouted, "It is legal," another corrected. "This is a virulent matter on a human-hosted station. Mixed jurisdiction." Translation: she was doomed. But down near the back, rows sweeping quietly, trying to look invisible, stood Marcus Hale. Janitor, third class, human, middle-aged, slight limp, uniform permanently stained by the stations. Recycled water and whatever the diners spilt, he had cleaned. This courtroom, every night for 3 years, he had listened to hundreds of trials while sweeping the floors, and he had watched Salvara for months, watched her speak for refugees, negotiate peace credits, and defend species the galaxy ignored. She had always been kind to him, always bowed her head slightly when he entered a room to clean, always thanked him in soft, virulent tones. She didn't deserve this. The prosecution, a tall insectoid curate with serrated mandibles, clicked eagerly. "If the defendant will not defend herself, then I metal SQUEALED." A broom clattered loudly. All eyes turned toward the janitor, whose hands trembled not from fear, but from a choice. Marcus inhaled sharply because this was stupid. Insane, career-ending, maybe life-ending, but he stepped forward anyway. His voice cracked. "I will defend her." Silence. Absolute silence. Then laughter, loud, cruel, echoing through the chamber. A janitor. The curate sneered. "Humans always believe they are heroes." Marcus ignored him, his heart pounding so hard it shook his ribs. He looked at Salvara. Her silver-flecked eyes widened. "Marcus Hale, what are you doing?" He swallowed. "Something right." The Urachi judge frowned. "Human, you are not a registered attorney." "No, ma'am." Marcus lifted his mop like a flagpole. "But station law permits temporary counsel if no representative is available." Section 14B. The judge blinked all 6 eyelids. "How do you know this?" Marcus shrugged. "I clean your law library every night." A few gallery members chuckled and then swiftly shut up when the judge's glare passed over them. The judge sighed. "Very well. Temporary counsel granted." She tapped her gavel. "Continue the trial," Salvara whispered. "You should not risk your livelihood for me." Marcus whispered back. "You saved 27 refugee families last year. You risked more than a job. Time for someone to return the favor." He stepped onto the defense platform, his heart thundering, his palms sweating, but his eyes were steady. "The trial begins." The curate prosecutor. began with his sting. Let the records show that the defendant submitted falsified import documents for the Virulent Aid Fund. She claimed medicine shipments worth 2 million credits, yet evidence shows they were never delivered. Lifted the forged documents, and the funds disappeared. Marcus raised his hand. Objection. The judge blinked. On what grounds? He froze. What were the grounds? Then it hit him: late-night sweeps, old cases, forgotten laws he'd overheard. On the grounds, he said slowly, that the documents are not authenticated. Under station law, all digital evidence must contain a verified metadata signature from the originating diplomatic office. The judge nodded slightly. Correct. Prosecutor. The curate hissed. The metadata could not be recovered. Marcus turned to the crowd. So these could have been forged by anyone. A murmur spread. The curate snapped its mandibles. Circumstantial. We traced the access terminal used for the documents. Marcus leaned forward. Which terminal? The insectoid grinned. The Virulent Embassy terminal, of course. Marcus felt his stomach twist. That sounded damning until he remembered something from sweeping the embassy wing 2 weeks ago. The embassy terminal that was malfunctioning. Marcus asked. Salvara's head snapped toward him. How did you? You told me. Marcus allowed a small smile. You were frustrated that it kept shutting off. Now he faced the judge. Your Honor, the embassy terminal had security issues. Anyone with a passkey could have accessed it while it was down, Salvara whispered. Marcus. No one believed me when I said that. Marcus whispered back. They will now. The prosecution growled. You have no proof. Actually, Marcus said. I do. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small chip. The embassy janitorial logs. The courtroom went silent. Marcus continued. Humans clean the embassy floors after hours. Our logs auto-record every door we open. 2 days before the falsified documents were submitted, I was assigned to clean that terminal room. The doors were open all night because the security system was offline. The judge leaned forward. Which means anyone could have entered. Exactly, Marcus. Place the chip on the evidence stand, and if you check the station's monitoring logs, those same hours have a surveillance blackout. The judge frowned. Blackout. Marcus nodded. I repaired the hallway camera last week. Its circuitry had been deliberately removed. The crowd erupted with noise. The curate prosecutor slammed his claws down. This is impossible. You are a janitor. Marcus turned slowly. Ma'am, he said to the judge, everyone on this station forgets that janitors see everything. We're ghosts. Doors open for us. People ignore us. We notice the things nobody looks at. Salvara stared at him like she'd never truly seen him before. The truth breaks open. The judge tapped a console. Security. Pull the digital entry logs for the embassy terminal room for the night in question. A holoprojection flashed to life. Lines scrolled. Then entry ID 94C HRX 55A. Curate access code. The prosecutor froze. The gallery roared. Marcus felt his pulse spike. Your Honor, that access code belongs to the prosecutor's assistant. The same assistant who submitted the anonymous tip that started this investigation. The judge's eyes narrowed. Prosecutor, explain, the curate sputtered. My assistant must have, this is clearly a misunderstanding. Marcus pointed again. The imported medicine never delivered. It was shipped to the curate homeworld. I found the cargo routing number in the aid fund logs that Selvera asked me to clean last month. Selvera gasped. You remembered that? I remember everything. The prosecutor shrieked as 2 guards grabbed him. This human sabotaged the trial. He is lying. Humans always think they are quiet, the judge snapped. Security will investigate your involvement in the theft of aid funds. The prosecutor was dragged out. The crowd thundered in shock and disbelief. Marcus exhaled, shoulders sagging. But he kept standing tall. Selvera looked at him with awe so deep it hurt to meet her eyes. The verdict, the judge raised all 6 arms. Diplomat Selvera is cleared of all charges. She then turned her focus on Marcus. And you, human. Marcus Hale. Marcus swallowed. Yes, Your Honor. You defended a diplomat with no training, no authority, and no obligation. She bowed. The judge bowed slightly. That is the essence of justice. The gallery erupted into applause, claws clapping, wings thumping, humans shouting. Selvera stepped close, her scales glowing with gratitude. Marcus Hale, she whispered, you did not just save my life. You saved my people from disgrace. He scratched the back of his neck, blushing. All I did was sweep floors. No. Her voice was soft, reverent. You saw truth where others saw filth. You listened where others ignored. You stood where others fled. She placed her hand, a slender, warm-scaled hand, over his. You are more than a janitor. Marcus shook his head. I'm just human, Selvera smiled. Then humanity is a miracle. Epilogue, HFY 3 days later. The Helion Station Council voted unanimously to create a new role, cross-species legal advocate. A representative trained to help any being lost in bureaucracy. Their first appointee, Marcus Hale, the janitor who listened. The janitor who cared. The janitor who stood up in the face of a galaxy that expected humans to submit. He didn't submit. He didn't back down. He defended her, and in doing so, he reminded the station and the stars of one truth. Humanity fights for its own, and for anyone who deserves justice. HFY *.